Cat. Cat.
Yes?
Aren't you forgetting something?
No, no.
What about cleaning your fingers?
No, I cleaned those.
Are you sure?
No, I'm done.
I don't think you have. Stop it. Do it. Stop. Do it. Do it. Fine.
Hey collectors! So today I'm going to be talking about cleaning figures. So I know a lot of people have asked how I managed to clean all of my figures in less than a year. But yeah, it only really takes me a few hours, and I'm going to show you the best way to go about cleaning and what the fastest ways are. Also, we'll be covering a few things like cleaning off a few stains. No, not those stains. Ew. I'll also be talking about other alternatives that I don't personally use, but I know that some people prefer to do that. I'll tell you why I don't as well. My go-to is actually using makeup brushes. So I actually went and bought this just at my local supermarket, but this one is a really good choice. So I find that the thing to go for with makeup brushes when you're using them to clean is to make sure it has really soft bristles, which this one is super soft, which is why I ended up going for it. Also, when you go and pull on it, that fibers don't just fall out, because obviously when you're cleaning it you don't want to end up with more fibers on it afterwards. And yeah, so it's really important to make sure it's super soft, because if you're going and cleaning with this, you don't want a chance getting micro scratches and things like that. It's also good to have some smaller paintbrushes. Again, same sort of thing, make sure they're super soft, make sure fibers don't fall out for the smaller areas. Another thing some people like to use is compressed air, canned air, whatever it's called. You can buy those from computer parts places because yeah, it's typically used to clean out computers. I personally don't like to use it because the compressed air isn't just air, there's also some chemicals in there, and I don't know how PVC will react to those sorts of things, so I prefer to avoid it. If I need something a little harder than just using a brush, I'll tend to just use a bit of water and make sure I dry it off properly afterwards. So, to start with, as far as cleaning figures, you need figures to clean. This one is really, really dusty, but fortunately, it's quite easy to clean. So I'll go and show you how to do that. So I find the best way to clean these sorts of figures is often to just leave them on the base, just because you can work your way around pretty easily. As you can see, it cleans it off super fast. It's way easier than using something like a Q-tip, and you can get a lot of those areas that you would otherwise miss. So it's just a matter of working from wherever you want to start and going all the way around. If it has loose parts and you're not comfortable dusting with those in, don't hesitate to take them out. Of course, you want to be delicate while doing it, since you obviously don't want to break anything while you're dusting them. And yeah, if you need something smaller, then just grab one of the smaller brushes, dust in those sorts of areas that you can't reach with the bigger brush. And that's pretty much it. You can see that she's much better. already. Obviously want to make sure that she's all put together again. One little last dust off. And there we go. You can use the exact same technique on scale figures as well. If you need to take it off the base, take it off the base. If you don't, then don't. Oops. I find this makes cleaning scale figures a lot faster. It used to take me maybe about 10-15 minutes per scale to clean before I got this brush. Now it takes me about 2 minutes, which, considering I have over 200 pre-painted figures, is probably much better. While I've got this figure out, I might as well show you how I clean the base as well. Since fluffy bases are a little bit more difficult to clean compared to their other counterparts, I use something very usual, just tape. I try to make sure that I use a tape that is gentle. It won't just rip anything up that it attaches to, but it'll be strong enough to take off any dust or loose fibers. It's just a matter of going around the base like this to pick up any of that dust. And that's it. Another thing to be very mindful of with brushes is make sure that you buy one specifically for cleaning figures. You don't want to use this for actual makeup, because then you're going to end up with all of that gunk on your figure as well. And while you might not see it now, it'll definitely be an issue later. As for cleaning off stains that might have come from paint transfers or moving them around, accidentally dropping them, there's quite a few different methods that you can use. If it doesn't just come off when you're dusting, one funny thing that most people will have in their houses that works is an eraser. This is something that you should only use on unpainted areas, because if you do use it on painted areas, there's a chance that you might strip some of the paint off. It's better to be safe than sorry. If you watched the last video I did, you saw that there were quite a few paint transfers on this figure. So fortunately, most of them happen to be on spots that aren't painted. So I can show you, using this, how you just get rid of it. So it's just a matter of erasing them. It's pretty easy, really. Just keep rubbing at it gently and it'll come up. There's also magic eraser that some people like to use. That's a little bit more abrasive. That will actually more likely bring up some of the paint. So again, you only want to use it on unpainted areas. And that's it. Which is already much cleaner. So another issue you might come across, particularly with things like Nendoroids and just general PVC items, is over the years you might end up having some sticky faces. So the reason for that is because of the agent that's added to PVC to make it softer will actually seep out over time. So this is a pretty necessary thing, particularly for sculpting figures, just because they need it to be soft enough to be able to make what we have. Fortunately, there are a lot of tutorials, most of them from Good Smile Company, as to how to clean those up. So I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to do it with one of mine. So this Nendoroid faceplate in particular is quite sticky, but fortunately Good Smile have just put up a tutorial on how to clean, and I'll just go and show you some screen caps from that. The plasticizer seems to seep out a lot faster in humid temperatures, also if you tend to keep your figures in the box. So one thing that is quite common advice is that if you don't like to display your figures, or you don't want to display your figures, just open them up every few months to let them air out, because that will actually help keep them stay top quality for as long as possible. For me, and with Nendoroids in particular, I actually keep everything out of the box and keep them in these sorts of containers, because that way I can just grab them out and open them up and just leave them out for about 20 minutes, half an hour, and then be able to put them away. Hey collectors, so it's been a little while since I've done my last video, I'm sorry, but I have been very busy, so I thought I would use this as an opportunity to do a little vlog and wish you all happy holidays and end of the year. So I am currently looking at packing and moving, so it will be a bit hard for me to do any of my unboxings and my haul, so unfortunately the next haul video won't be until next year. I've also got a merch store that has gone live in the last week, so I'll put the link to that in the description, so definitely check that out if you happen to like the icons that I have and the other art and whatnot. I'm hopefully going to be adding some more designs before the end of the year, so definitely get on that if you're interested. I have a few videos that I'm sitting on at the moment, so if I can get around to finishing those up, I will hopefully be able to put out a few more videos before the end of the year. Otherwise I will probably drop next year. I really want to thank everyone who has supported me this year. It's still really quite surreal that I'm going and recording myself and putting myself on the internet with my face, but I really want to thank everyone who has supported me and subscribed and commented and everything. It's really quite flattering, and I hope you will support me all next year as well. Okay, bye!